Peter, I mean, you obviously had your fair share of female attention over the years.
That's very nicely put, man.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
What are the kind of things you've seen, Peter?
There are plenty of women out there who make it absolutely blatantly obvious that they fancy you, and they think that a little bit of a fling with you wouldn't go astray at all.
Motor racing legend Peter Brock says when it comes to female fans wanting to get that little bit closer, he's seen it all. And Peter's wife of 28 years, Bev, says for too long there's been an unwritten code of silence among sportsmen when it comes to what happens after the game.
Peter has actually signed many body parts of young women. They will come up and get their breasts signed,
And look,
their stomachs.
this is an enjoyable, relatively enjoyable experience, isn't it?
There's the upside, there's the downside of life. And quite often their partners and husbands are they quite knowingly sort of supporting this.
Bev also works as a crisis counsellor for women, and amid the recent flood of allegations involving high-profile sportsmen, she contacted me to talk about what she calls the other side of the story.
Groupies is probably not the term I'd use, but there are very sexually aggressive women out there covering all levels of society who make no bones about their desires, their approaches to any man who is in a high-profile position. The guys get a very, very poor opinion of women in general because they are seeing an enormous amount of these women who will be completely upfront with what they want from the guys.
Please understand that these young men are thinking that these women are available to them. They've got this smorgasbord out there, and it's how wonderful is life. And of course, every now and then they make an error of judgment. The difficulty is that you get a culture within some sporting group, and footy clubs are well known for it, where girls are easy targets. And they talk amongst themselves and they figure, well, we can just get out there with all these girls and just have our way with them.
That is why we're having this problem that we have now, because there is that culture and that mentality.
This is a difficulty for the sports person, is how to choose between someone who is ready and willing and someone who's saying, hang on, I'm not.
Well, I think that's pretty
this.
easy. When someone says no, I'm not sure what part of no they're
That's
not getting.
true.
But women who put themselves in the situation have to be aware that there are other women who have made it very difficult for these guys to discern between who is and who isn't willing.
This is a very healthy situation, actually, this debate is going on, because it's like, hello, you're out there with these footy players and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're going to go back to their hotel room and there's plenty of alcohol involved. What do you expect?
Yet, nevertheless, women should be safe no matter where they are.
If you say, look, this is ridiculous, I don't want to be involved with these guys, they're boozed, their testosterone is flying around the place, don't go there.
Because I've sat back and watched it over the years, and fortunately I'm not a jealous or possessive person, and I really feel that so many of these women lack self-awareness. They lack their sense of self-worth, and it's time for them to look and say, I don't need this in my life.
Is it not true that these men should be responsible for their own actions?
That responsibility is coming home very loud and clear with the media exposure of their behaviour Australian-wide. I mean, it's happened just overnight almost, where someone's brought up this subject which has been swept under the carpet for decades. This is nothing new.
Have you experienced any of this and seen any of this in your business and throughout your life?
I've never seen any unwilling women. Just leave it that way. There's always... But
there's an abundance of willing women.
But all jokes aside, the Brocks are serious when they say it's time to blow the whistle on players who think playing up is just part of the game.
There is a certain percentage of sports people out there who won't take no for an answer and just figure that their egos get in the way and figure, well, I'm it. I'm having my way and that's it. Well, they're accountable.